Saudi Arabia opens up about their dislike for President Joe Biden, but their loyalty to the United States relationship. Russia warns of a dirty bomb being used in Ukraine as a false flag, but Ukraine says this is a cover story to allow Putin to detonate his bombs. Also, Wall Street flashes red signs saying the United States will run out of diesel fuel in 25 days if production isn't ramped up immediately. Thank you so much for liking and sharing these videos. There's a lot of really important information to go through today, so let's jump right in. Former President Donald Trump is under additional criticism after potentially leaking secret details about the United States nuclear weapons program to journalists Bob Woodward 2 years ago. Trump stated, "I have built a weapons system that nobody's ever had in this country before. We have stuff that you haven't seen or heard about. We have stuff that Putin and Xi have never heard about before." While specific details were not shared with Bob Woodward, Trump did kind of spill secrets about the weapons potential of the United States military. While specific details were not mentioned, again, Trump is now being criticized for even discussing this with a journalist. Now, Woodward reportedly consulted with other sources on Trump's claims and said that they backed what Trump was saying about having technology and weaponry that other countries do not have, but did openly say that Trump did not spill the beans on the details of what those were. So, did Trump actually break the law and divulge U.S. secrets, or did he just kind of hint to this journalist about the potential power of the United States? Let me know your thoughts down below. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis debated his opponent, Representative Charlie Crist, last night. During the debate, DeSantis refused to rule out a 2024 presidential run, which has sparked controversy. However, DeSantis stated, "I just want to make things very, very clear. The only worn out old donkey I'm looking to put out to pasture is Charlie Crist." Now, this statement seems to indicate that he's not running for 2024, but he left it open just in case something came up where former President Donald Trump is not able to run, maybe because of some of these investigations, health issues, or Trump just saying, "I'm not going to run. I'm going to move on with my life." Now, DeSantis could end up taking his place. If so, he would become the most popular Republican to run for the presidential office in 2024. So I think it's pretty clear that he doesn't want to make Trump an enemy, but he also doesn't want to close the door on running for president. Okay, now, there's a lot coming out about what's going on with gas prices in Saudi Arabia, and so I'm breaking this story to you today. Saudi Arabia's head of Kingdom Energy and the other prince of Saudi Arabia, Prince Abdulaziz bin Salman, openly said today that he wants to continue the successful business relationship that has existed between Saudi Arabia and the United States for 75 years. He said he isn't too concerned about President Joe Biden and won't change their production numbers to help him keep his seat or win the midterm elections. In fact, he said, the royal family hasn't really liked Joe Biden since he tried to shame them and their family on a global scale back in 2018. So I think what we're really seeing here and why we're paying higher gas prices is Saudi Arabia has bad feelings towards President Joe Biden. Like, this is a personal family-to-family beef that you and I are just kind of caught in between. Now, Saudi Arabia said it needs the United States to know that sometimes Saudi Arabia has to do what's best for Saudi Arabia, but said that the United States should also do what's best for the United States. But as of right now, they aren't going to produce more oil just to temporarily help Biden win the election. The prince also said, keep in mind, Saudi Arabia has a good business partnership with China, but our best ally is the United States of America. Now, I took this as the Prince of Saudi Arabia trying to say diplomatically that we're going to continue to sell to China, but we remain loyal to our United States of America relationship. Now, even the Princess of Saudi Arabia made a public statement that the United States should quit trying to link Saudi Arabia to Russia and Vladimir Putin, since they openly do business with dozens and dozens of countries, and OPEC is made up of dozens and dozens of countries, and that Saudi Arabia has and will continue to remain loyal to the United States, just like they have for decades, and the United States should honor that relationship. Basically, quit bad-mouthing us, quit throwing us under the bus. We want to be your ally and your partner, but not if you continue to badmouth us on a world scale like has been done in the past. Now, Jamie Dimon of Chase Bank, the same CEO that told Representative Jayapal the United States would go to hell if he committed to not investing in oil, and said the 75-year relationship with Saudi Arabia has its problems, but they will work through them. So basically, this big bank in America believes continuing to be loyal to this relationship and keep oil flowing is more important than doing what Representative Jayapal wants, which is transition the United States to green energy or electric energy too fast. They're not opposed to it, but he says it's just happening too fast. Now, debate night is finally here between Trump-backed Dr. Oz and Biden-backed John Fetterman. This debate is pretty important for Pennsylvania's decision-making and will help determine who controls the Senate going forward. Will it be Democrats? Will it be Republicans? Now, Democrats seem a bit worried, so they've called in their big guns. Former President Barack Obama will be campaigning for Fetterman ahead of the midterms, even though Obama knows that Fetterman is dealing with a lot of mental difficulty after suffering a stroke. So will Trump's Dr. Oz be able to overcome the Obama-Biden backing of Representative Fetterman? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. The situation in Ukraine continues to worsen as Russia has now claimed that Ukraine has threatened to use a dirty bomb against them. Ukraine has flat out denied the allegations, and the foreign minister of Kyiv has welcomed inspection as he claims they have nothing to hide. This statement from Russia has worried experts, as it could be a made-up excuse for Russia to escalate the war through dirty tactical weapons. Now, National Security spokesman John Kirby said, "We have seen in the past that the Russians have, on occasion, blamed others for things they were planning to do. We don't have any indication that that's the case right now, but it is a play that we have seen before." So basically, he said, Russia has done this in the past, but none of our intel is saying that this is true about Russia or Putin as of right now. Now, Russia first made mention of the false flag dirty bomb details on Monday in a letter to the United Nations. It's now become even more worrisome that Russia's top diplomat is personally taking details to the United Nations Security Council later today. So he's going in person versus just sending a letter because they're so worried about this dirty bomb being blamed on them. So Russia is saying this dirty bomb will have some nuclear element to it and will be used in Ukraine to make Putin look like he caused this explosion. But Ukraine is saying just the opposite, that Putin is putting out the details to the public to give himself cover to actually use the weapon in Ukraine and shift the blame over to someone else. So honestly, I don't know what to think because they tried to say Putin bombed his own pipeline after spending $11 billion to complete it. And then it turns out they haven't been able to link Russia to the sabotaged Nord Stream 2 pipeline. But we'll see what ends up coming. I hope no dirty bomb goes off with any kind of nuclear element involved, but we'll see what happens. Now, while the world figures out the truth about this dirty bomb scare, another big worry has creeped up in the United States. According to Bloomberg News, alarms are going off in Washington, D.C., Wall Street, and the Transportation Department, as the United States has only 25 days of diesel fuel left in the country. Consumption of diesel has been higher as more trucks are being used to move goods, while diesel production has gone down. According to Bank of America research analyst Francisco Blanch, the U.S. could run out of diesel before the holidays. He said also that the U.S. has had much more reliant on Russia for diesel fuel than gasoline or oil, so the sanctions imposed by the United States on Putin and Russia are now catching up to the United States, and we're the ones left without enough diesel fuel in our country. Now, the stock markets are green today, with the Dow Jones and the S&P 500 each being up over 1%. Bitcoin was up around 4% and Ethereum up over 10% as of the filming of this video. That is one of the bigger single-day moves for Ethereum in a long time. By the way, I'm so glad to see how many of you enjoyed the money interview I did with Wall Street trader Todd Horwitz. His advice about not panicking, being smart about your purchases, dollar cost averaging in case the market goes down, but not missing out on these lower prices, I thought was really, really relevant. And so I'm always trying to bring important information that is relevant to my community. So I'm so glad you guys enjoyed that. Now, yesterday, progressive Democrats held a press conference telling Nancy Pelosi she needed to rethink the aid our country was giving to Ukraine and to seek for peace versus seeking for more money. Excuse me. Then Pelosi started labeling Republicans as pro-Putin Republicans if they didn't want to give endless amounts of money to Ukraine. Now, just minutes ago, these same progressive Democrats have withdrawn this request and have said it was an old request that was leaked and isn't true. They say that they stand by Ukraine and will support them until the very end because our democracy depends on giving U.S. taxpayer dollars to Ukraine. So our democracy depends on giving our money to Ukraine. So they've now totally flip-flopped within a 24-hour period. Now, this is my update for today. As I know more, I will definitely come on and share more with you. Make sure to take 20 seconds to enter your name to be one of the winners of the $8,000 in cash and prizes that Casey and I are giving away, thanks to generous video sponsors. There's going to be 40 winners. Everyone's going to win a hoodie and $100, but a few of you are going to win up to $500 in cash, and you can spend the money however you want. I'll make sure to leave a link down below. Now, before you go, I want to remind you that you are amazing. I appreciate you being in my community. Hey, make sure to check out this video and be subscribed to the channel. Thanks for stopping by, and I will see you on the next video.